Hello, thanks for joining me, astrologer Patrick Arundell, for your astrological overview for week commencing the 19th of September. In the heavens at the present time we have the Sun and Mercury, the ruler of Virgo, in this sign, which is all about precision. Mercury, tracking backwards until this Thursday, forges a delightful link with Pluto this week, the planet of change. If you really want to analyse things and take your time to get to the bottom of what something means, then that aspect can be very helpful and transformational. But then, on the other hand, we have the Sun being egged on by Mars in a kind of provocative way, saying, all this detail stuff is very dull. Mars wants to be restless and a bit daring, especially in its angle to Uranus in the first half of this week. It's not interested in fulfilling its obligations and the things it knows it should be doing. It wants to please itself, and that can see us feeling a bit hemmed in by those everyday chores that are a little bit dull, or if we've put ourselves in a situation where we're having to look out for someone else, there is an obligation there, it can become much less comfortable to fulfill that obligation this week. And it's something we've got to try and work out. And with Mercury tracking backwards, some of those details, well, we could take our eye off them despite Pluto's support if Mars makes us too impatient. Also Saturn and Neptune in conflict since the middle of May. Well, of course, all of this month they've been pretty well in exact a right angle, which has not been easy. From the middle of this week, that does start to ease off a little bit. And in 1 month's time, through the middle of October, its presence, this particular aspect, will have drifted away. And that's really good, because Saturn in Sagittarius is all about fact-finding. It's about knowledge. It's making sure that we've got our ideas really clear. And whether it's in the American presidential debate or it's in the Brexit campaign in Britain, I think the victim of this particular aspect has actually been facts, because on both sides of the debate a lot of people have been saying different things, and there's been some big statements, bold statements that are meant to be provocative but are not actually very easy to back up in actuality. And in some cases there's been sheer exaggeration. And that's very much this aspect at play. So that's going to peak in the middle of this week, but Mercury in its angle to Pluto, despite its backward track, can help us to get to grips with things. But the Sun with Mars can make us rather impatient. Now, the Sun is actually going to be moving on Friday. There's a quarter moon earlier in the day, but then the Sun relocates into Libra. Now, the Sun in Libra is all about trying to find a greater equilibrium in situations. With Venus in Libra for 6 of the 7 days this week, and Jupiter, the planet of growth, here too, I do feel the back end of this week could see some more information come into the public realm about social justice, fair play, a need for greater transparency. All these kind of issues are going to be much to the fore. But the Sun continues its right angle with Mars. It's just disassociate in the sense that it's no longer a earth aggravating fire angle, it's an air aggravating fire angle, which isn't usually the case, and it's because of the way that they're pulled apart. They're just still in a square even though the Sun has moved on. So we've got to be aware that that desire for impatience can still be there, right threaded through the week. So I do feel that the conundrum for us all this week is to try to decide on our strategies and try to make some big and bold moves about the things that we really believe in, but we have to back them up with a real grasp of the detail. And if we try to take shortcuts, I think we're going to get rather caught out. But when it comes to love and passion and romance, with Venus moving from the rather gracious and harmonising zone that it's part of in terms of Libra, and moving on Sunday into the deep, passionate and hot and sensual Scorpio, well, that primes up some interesting things for me to tell you about next week. But for now, good luck, and thank you for joining me, and goodbye for now.